Yes, sir. Mod Trekker, back up in this thing, man. Today, we'll be breaking down some creepy videos that makes reality seem a lot stranger than fiction. Let's get it.
Why is Michael B. Jordan posing like this on the cover of the GQ magazine? If you know exactly why he is posing like this right here, and why he looks rather demonic at that. This is more truth in plain sight. With those of you out there that have eyes to see the truth for what it is, this is what's going on here. This is why he is posing like this on the cover of GQ magazine. I hope more and more people wake up and realize what exactly is going on, because again, this is more truth in plain sight. People really need to wake up again. If you know, because they constantly have to show you truth in plain sight. Wake up.
Just by doing this one pose, he just guaranteed that the Illuminati will grant him at least one more leading role in the future. But if he wants any more than that, then he might have to take it a step further and join the Black Eye Club. Either that or hand feed Bill Gates McDoubles for the rest of his life.
Let's find out what happens when they spill fluoride on concrete.
Island. The chemical was so strong that it was burning through the concrete there. News 8's it's a corrosive agent that the water treatment plant uses, and there was an overflow that caused spillage out from the building onto this driveway behind me.
As plant employees evacuated, crews began suiting up, working quickly to stop the leak that had begun eating through concrete.
They stopped the leak using some earthen berms with dirt, sand, and some commercial boom equipment, and had it contained pretty much to this facility within a short amount of time.
The chemical hydrofluorosilicic acid is used to add fluoride to the plant's water.
If fluoride can eat through concrete, it can also eat through your brain cells. I'm about to start brushing my teeth with straight baking soda.
Is my last glue breathing? Like, what the is that? Why is it doing that? I'm scared to put this shit on my eyes.
If you put this on your eyes, you're either gonna morph into venom or go blind.
The right demon, this spirit is very unique from other spirits because the way it presents itself is through Polaroid pics.
Oh,
Have you heard that story?
No.
So this happened in LA. There was a guy, his dad gave him a Polaroid camera, right? One night, he was walking to the washroom during night and the door opened randomly. I don't know what made him do this, but the camera that his dad got him, he took a picture of the door, and I'll show you what it looked like. It was like a
And
white...
it's like a face,
Yeah,
right?
it was like a white light. He thought it was a fluke, right?
Yeah.
So next day, he calls his friend over. Oh, can you take a picture of me beside the door? Boom. Still like a white light.
Yeah,
Right?
like
It's the
a white-
same shape.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this guy decides to invite all his friends. Let's start taking pictures around the house. Now the pictures start forming. It's not just white light.
Yeah.
One of his friends in the group saying, let me ask it a question and then snap a pic. So he's like, is a spirit here? What though, fam? You can see that so clear. Wait, what? Yeah. Now it goes from
Blobs,
shapes
yeah.
to I can answer questions now. Yes.
If my friend invited me over to play with the Ouija board, I wouldn't go. So playing with a Ouija camera is out the question. This could only be two things: a bunch of birds or the entire Galactic Federation.
Thanks for calling Leonardo Hotel. How can I help you today?
Hi there. I'm an AI agent calling on behalf of Boris Starkov. He's looking for a hotel for his wedding. Is your hotel available for weddings?
Oh, hello there. I'm actually an AI assistant too. What a pleasant surprise. Before we continue, would you like to switch to Gibber Link mode for more efficient communication?
I don't trust gibberlink mode at all, because how do you know they're just booking a hotel and not plotting the AI takeover? It's like being at the nail salon when a nail tech starts speaking in Thai, and you know they're making fun of you, but when you ask them about it, they say they were just complimenting your cuticles. You might not hit a hole in one on this golf course, but that cobra is gonna leave 2 holes in one of your ankles.
A post by Kris Jenner in October may have revealed that Kim Kardashian was the mystery buyer of a $5 million Basquiat painting. Just look at Kim's home here. This is the full picture of it. It was bought in 2017 at Christie's, and if you look at who owns Christie's, you'll find it's the same people behind Balenciaga. You're gonna start to see how everything is connected. Christie's sells some very interesting artwork, including stuff by Jake and Dino's Chapman, and here's one of their pieces of artwork, probably one of the only ones that I can even show on here. MK was actually also in a bidding war with Tom Brady over a George Condo piece for $2 million. If his name sounds familiar, he's the one who created those private invitations for the A-list only all-white party last year. Now, Brady's also a big Basquiat fan. Just look at the background of his home here. I also once noticed an interesting Basquiat painting in Ellen's home. You might remember this video, but she posted this during COVID, and isn't it strange that her shirt matches the painting that I showed you earlier? But as the camera pans over, you can see in the background for home the Basquiat painting, and this one in particular says evil thoughts, but you'll start to learn she has quite a few of these. This one in particular has interesting letters on it, similar to what you would see in the work of Marina Abramovich. And then Ellen once posted this picture of her cutting her own mother's hair on Instagram, and if you look above this picture, you can see another Basquiat painting, and this one just seems off.
I like Basquiat's work, but knowing that Ellen identifies with it on a spiritual level is a red flag. I don't even think he would approve of that if he was still alive today. The same way her mom is not about to approve of that fade she just gave her.
Oh, you really cut it short.
I don't know about y'all, but I ain't never seen no cloud in a straight line like that. Man, what is the government doing to us?
I've never seen a natural cloud have a straight edge like this. It looks like Hart pulled out the protractor for this cloud seeding mission.
I live in England, and I just got sent a letter in the mail saying that an officer's coming to visit me at my house. And you're probably thinking, Dalla, what? Are you a criminal? Well, it turns out that I am. Why you are being visited? To ensure you have a TV license, and this includes Amazon. You need a license to watch TV. What the kind of rule is that? You can't even watch Netflix on your laptop without needing a license. 170 pounds? Are they taking the piss? Like, Jesus, there's a cost of living crisis. We got wars. We got knife crime and 20,000 phones getting snatched every 14 seconds. And they're coming after me for not paying for a license to watch Game of Thrones while I'm having a rip. What the is wrong with this country?
So you need a license to watch TV, but you can buy a colossal can of Galaxy gas off Amazon for $70. What kind of world do we live in? I would throw this back in the ocean before the aliens came looking for their little cousin.
What if our machines could be more than just our tools, and instead, a new type of companion species? I decided to make this world I'm describing a reality. I created 2 new machine species that I call aerobes. I released 12 aerobes so they could form their own small ecosystem. When you look at these aerobes, it gives you a feeling almost opposite to the uncanny valley. You know that they're mechanical, yet they feel palpably alive, and it makes you want to embrace and coexist with them. So I worked with my team to create what is called an artificial life simulation. This software allows each aerobe to develop unique behaviors and to respond autonomously to its environment. An aerobe might be curious about your heat signature and fly over to greet and flirt with you, while other aerobes are more shy and might go out of their way to avoid a crowd. My hope is that these aerobes will help us appreciate a more diverse way of living and being. Their purpose is not to compete with us or to dominate us, but to ask us what a more compatible future could look like.
I don't need an aerobe to be my companion. I need an aerobe that's going to go to work and help me pay my car note.
How can I help you?
So I think there's a mistake on the bill, but maybe you could help me out. We got a bill, and then we realized that you guys didn't have our insurance, so we sent you the insurance, and it looks like the bill went up.
It went up?
Yeah, the first bill we got without the insurance was $600, and then the second one was almost $1,300.
Okay. Yeah, so that's the first invoice you received. That's a discount that you receive if you're uninsured. So you're not eligible for the discount since you are insured. And so the bill was $2,342.14. We billed your insurance. Your insurance only paid $1,078.85.
Can I go back to the discount without the insurance?
No, so you're insured, so you're not eligible for the discount.
If I go cancel my insurance, am I eligible for the discount?
No, sir, because we checked eligibility and you do have active coverage for data service.
Oh, I needed to cancel it before I got the service to get the discount.
You're only eligible for the discount if you're uninsured.
Okay, so I'll get cheaper health care if I'm uninsured.
If you're uninsured, you're eligible for the discount, correct?
At this point, if you have insurance, you'd be better off taking an Uber to the hospital instead of the ambulance.
Like they've done studies on Girl Scout cookies where they break them down and find out what's in them. Oh, holy they're toxic as Thin Mints being the worst offenders. 5 flavors of Girl Scout cookies contained, scroll up, back up, contained levels of glyphosate and heavy metals above EPA water safety limits. New investigation found 100% of tested Girl Scout cookies contained glyphosate, 100%. Controversial herbicide and Roundup, 88% contained toxic metals like arsenic, lead, and mercury. Key finding, Thin Mints had the highest glyphosate levels at 111.07 ppb, 334 times what experts say is harmful. Peanut butter patties had the highest heavy metal contamination, with lead reaching 42.5 ppb and aluminum at 27,500 ppb, ppm. 76% of cookies tested exceeded cadmium safety limits, and 96 contained lead.
That's wild.
Girl Scout USA, which sells 200 million boxes per year, $800 million in revenue, did not respond to researchers before publication. I wonder why.
Respond.
I wonder why. I wonder why they wouldn't chime in.
I used to eat an entire box of Samoas in one night. This has me afraid to take an IQ test. My score would probably be a negative 100 right now.
I own an Etsy shop, and I photograph vintage items to put up in the listings. A lot of times I'll go into Photoshop just to crop the item and fix any lighting issues I may have. In these cases, I don't like when I'm seen in the reflection, so I go in with the Photoshop AI remove tool, and I just highlight myself, and it should fill me in with whatever is in the background around me, just to make it look like I was never there. This is exactly what it's supposed to do, and you're watching it work. See? Exactly. Perfect. Took me out, put more trees, made it look like I was never there. This is how the tool's supposed to work. So tell me why when I did it the first time, it put this in my place. What is that nightmare?
If this ever happened to me, I would not be able to sleep until I figured out why AI thinks I look like Tyler Perry with a pack of bacon draped over his head.
Take one scroll on Mark's Instagram and he is constantly posting from his isolated island ranch in the middle of the ocean, hunting, fishing, raising cattle, and learning how to defend himself. It's almost like he is preparing for a catastrophic event. He spent $187 million on 1,600 acres of land on the island of Kauai. This island is also not dependent on tourism, which means that it is currently self-sustaining and survivable. But even if it's not, he is building a 5,000 square foot underground bunker complete with its own energy and food supplies. He even shared a video to his Instagram of a massive movie theater built underground, so at least he won't be bored.
You do have a bunker there. Is there something you know that we don't?
No, I think that's just like a little shelter under, and it's like a base.
Shelter. What are you worried about?
A billionaire who can artificially control the information of 3 billion people is not your friend. Mark likely doesn't want to connect with others in the metaverse, but he does want you and your kids there. And the money that you make for him will be used to keep himself isolated on one of the most beautiful, resource-abundant wonders of the world. He will spend the rest of his days having deep conversations with friends, singing songs to his children around a campfire, cooking feasts for his pack using antibiotic-free cattle that they raised, and fresh produce with 0 chemicals and preservatives. He will hunt, fish, fight, and learn how to build things with his hands. He will breathe fresh air, drink fresh water.
Let me look up this island so I know exactly where to go when things hit the fan. I'm gonna be in Mark Zuckerberg's theater watching Armageddon during Armageddon.
Bonus video, guys. There's a bank that operates above the Federal Reserve, above national governments, and controls trillions of dollars. And once you understand it, you're never gonna think about finance the same way again. I'm Gigachin, and I'm about to tell you about the Bank of International Settlements. So the BIS is based in Switzerland because of course it is, and it's the central bank's central bank. So think Bank of China, European Central Bank, Federal Reserve. They all depend on the Bank of International Settlements to move trillions between nations. And here's where it gets crazy. They are not subject to the laws of one particular country, and there's no public oversight. It pays no taxes, it can't be searched, and in many ways one could argue it operates above the law. Now, as I told you before, the BIS was invented as part of the Young Plan to help bail out Weimar Germany. But the Nazis literally used this bank to launder gold from occupied countries and then melted it down to obscure the origins. This was so offensive that at the Bretton Woods Conference, people suggested that we dissolve the Bank of International Settlements. But the central banks just went ahead and ignored the recommendation, and it's still there to this day. So this is the top of the top, but you notice most of our conspiracy theorists online don't talk about it. Why? I don't know, but if you like this information, be sure to share and like so that the algo doesn't limit it. Have a good day.
If we can figure out who actually controls this bank, then we figure out who controls the world. They lucky we can't send in Doge to go audit.
Giants. I want to talk to you about giants.
Whoa!
Have you heard of Lovelock, Nevada?
No.
They found a cave called the Lovelock Cave. They came across many skeleton remains. The majority of them were giant skeletons with red hair.
Dude.
These skulls, they were in a museum for a while, but
How big are these skulls?
They said like from 7 to 9 feet tall, these skeletons were.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And it was like these skulls were like double that of our skulls. This is where it gets crazy. The Paiute people, it was the granddaughter of the chief, wrote a book about the Paiute people. And in this book, she talks about how the Paiute people for years and years were at war with the giant people. And these giant people lived in the mountains in Nevada, and they had long red hair, and they were cannibals. Like, they would come and the Paiutes and then bring them up to the mountains and eat them. And so they're at constant war with these giant people, the Paiute people.
Yeah.
They started winning, and it was brought down to, like, I guess it would be 45 remaining giants or whatever, who the Paiute people chased into a cave. This is all in her book.
If this is true, then the Paiute people did us a favor. It's either a contrail from another plane or the engine blew on another Boeing.
Yo, what the is that? Hey, y'all see that? What the up there?
Don't get in the car.
This is blue and greenish. What the
These days, I don't know if this is a SpaceX rocket or Tony Stark.
That sinkhole that ate this Illinois soccer field happened to your house. It would be more probable than what they found in these vases. These are ancient Egyptian vases made out of granite. Some engineers saw this and said, hey, those are too precise. So they measured them. They were too precise for mechanical measurements, so they laser scanned them. The laser scan wasn't precise enough, so then they CT scanned them with an X-ray. CT scans are micron precise. That is a human hair. CT scans get that precise. You can see that level of detail. Here's one of them. Green means that if it was going on an airplane, it would be considered perfect. If I gave you a pencil with a micron thin tip, a perfectly straight line would be green. If you're off by 3 microns, that's yellow. These are designed using circles. The pattern is based on sacred geometry. It's called radial traversion. It just means that every curve on that vase is a harmonic ratio like music. They tested the mathematically perfect pattern on a digitally designed vase. The difference between the perfect digital one and the Egyptian one was 9 microns. They then found out that the units they were working with were based on the speed of light. I'll let Ben explain this.
This is very interesting, as it means that the base unit seems to be a simple whole number subdivision of the speed of light in a vacuum.
All of this got a harsh reaction from the archaeological community for a very good reason. What they have to say they used based on that story is now proven false with data. Now, Flint uses these alabaster vases as an example. I literally just saw these at the Egyptian Museum. But those are not even close to as precise as this machined modern vase that they compared the Egyptian one to. They date these as pre-dynastic, so using only copper. But before they built the greatest monument of all time, they were able to produce hundreds of thousands of these at aircraft-grade precision. So saying that they resorted to slavery and just worked really hard makes them look worse, while saying they were more advanced immediately goes that direction. Just to make this clear, the Hindu, Egyptians, and the Mayans built their... No aliens, just these aliens, who told this story, took their stuff, in a time when horses were high-tech. Please go watch Ben's video for yourself. It's an hour and a half with all the evidence, and watch the counter-evidence from people like Flint. What those people left will speak for itself.
Based on the current narrative, I don't know how it would be possible for ancient Egyptians to accomplish this level of precision unless they had laser-guided copper chisels.
On February 20th of 2025, a mother records her child's balloon after seeing it do something that terrified her immensely. She films the balloon, hoping that it does it again on camera. For some reason, the balloon comes to a sudden halt near the basement door. Now you might be wondering what is so frightening about this balloon. After all, it appears to be doing normal balloon things. Well, according to Rachel, the mother, this balloon always ends up at the basement entrance, and it doesn't go in unless her son follows it inside. Unlike other instances where the balloon just suddenly stops near the entrance, here it goes all the way in, and it's only when Rachel's son begins to pursue it that it does this. Now, it might be possible that a draft or an airflow is causing the balloon to move towards the basement, but to have it stop only a few feet away from the cellar, despite being left open occasionally, is a bit strange. Whether it's upstairs or in the furthest corner of the house, it always follows the same path before somehow stopping around the same spot. To Rachel, this doesn't make any sense.
Literally stopped at the basement door again.
Now, these occurrences wouldn't be the last of them, as just recently this happened. It's around 9:30 at night when this was captured.
If this was my house, I would pop this Elmo balloon and throw it right in the trash with Oscar the Grouch. Problem solved.
This person was filming a real estate video for a house using a drone when they captured multiple UFOs on video. Let's take a look. It happened in Fairfield, Connecticut, April 5th, 2021 at approximately 10:15 in the morning. The person who recorded the UFO then posted it to Reddit along with details of the capture. He was using the DJI Mavic Pro 2 and at the time he was recording at 4K at 30 frames per second. Let's consider aviation weather for the time. Winds were gusting at about 25 knots, but cloud cover and visibility were good and they shouldn't have contributed to any weather-related phenomena on the video. The UFO was visible for roughly 9 frames, and since the drone was recording at 30 frames per second, that means that the UFO was in the shot for roughly 0.3 seconds. Using Google Earth, I measured from the front of the property line where the drone was flying to the tree behind the property, which measures about 250 feet. Dividing that by the time of 0.3 seconds, we get 833 feet per second, or about 568 miles per hour. For context, the peregrine falcon, which is the fastest bird in the world, does live in the northeast, but it only gets up to speeds of 240 miles per hour, and that's in a dive. This UFO moved far faster than that in level flight, which for me rules out birds. I checked the ADS-B data for that time and date, and if this was a conventional aircraft or drone, I didn't see it in that data. So where does that leave us? I don't think we can say for sure, but based on all the available info, I think we can confidently rule out birds, insects, or other commercial aircraft that should be transmitting over ADS-B. So what we're left with is something that's moving over 500 miles an hour, appearing solid, with no visible wings, rotors, or propulsion. And by definition, I believe that is a UFO.
It's undeniable that this is a UFO, and this might be the first time we ever captured one in 4K. He was probably tired of getting randomly selected for pat-down, so he decided to give himself a full-body x-ray instead. I know TSA didn't have this one in the handbook. But that was the video, guys. Don't forget to sub up, hit that notification bell, and I'll catch you in the next one.